Okay, well, I'm gonna re-record this because I screwed up my recording from last time and it sounds all roboty. If I feel really uh um generous, I'll probably put it in here. But anyways, I wanted to go over and review my first deck that I built myself. Basically what I did was I looked up which of these secret packs was probably really good to get, and turns out oh, which one was it? I bought one of them and it had a bunch of mech knights in it and also a bunch of oh, you know what, I think they rotated. No, they didn't. They don't rotate for another 54 minutes. Anyways, I bought one of these packs. I don't remember which one it was. I bought like 30 of them. And one of the cards that popped out was this one. And it's got this funky foiling on it. I don't know what it's called. I want to call it a Starlight Rare, but I don't think that's accurate. And I don't think that's accurate because I'm pretty sure that those ones are like dark, not like super bright. But anyways, I thought this guy looked dope. And so I'm like, I wonder what other cards I've got because his effect is very unique. I come from the Yu-Gi-Oh era of like early GX. Like we're talking Flame Wingman, like prior to whatever they were called, like the Shadow Riders, when they were trying to come get like the budget Egyptian gods. So I had no idea what any of these did, and I had no idea how link monsters worked. I still kind of don't think I completely understand them, but we'll get to that because I think I figured out some things when I was doing these duels. So I got a bunch of mech knights, and they all have this interesting text, which means that I don't really need any tribute materials for most of these most of the time. On the off chance that I do, I decided to put in crawlers because they're pretty dope. I've got 3 crawler spines, 3 crawler axons, and 3 crawler receptors. The receptors help me search for spines and axons. These spines are basically Maneater Bug, but with more defense. And these axons destroy spell and trap cards. For my extra deck, I've got X-Crawler Neurogos. I don't know what this guy does yet. I haven't played him, which means I don't really understand his ability, which is fine. I'll figure it out later. I don't even get to play him, like, soon in this. I don't even get to play him in these 2 games that we're going to show off here. Nightmare Phoenix. I don't think I played this guy just because I needed the beat stick more than I needed his effect. And then this other Mech Knight, I assume he's got a pretty dope ability. I haven't bothered to read the card yet. Because he's a 2000 attack point monster, which means he's weaker than most of my Mech Knights. And then there was this guy. This guy is pretty cool. And I will explain to you what I used him for here shortly. Beyond that, we have these World Legacy secrets, which allow me to bring back my Mech Knights. And we have Whispers, which protected my Mech Knights. And then Threatening Roar, which also helped protect my Mech Knights. These World Legacy memories allow me to bring out my Mech Knights. And I think I created my own little combo for this. So let's go and look at... Let's go look at these 2 duels. These are the first 2 duels that I did in this game against other people. I have spent the entirety of the rest of my time doing solo content. These are my first 2 against actual people. And I'm pretty sure that these guys actually don't really understand how to play the game. Which is totally fine. Everybody's got to start somewhere, and this game is super complex, way more complex than the last time I played it, because the most complicated thing that we had back then was something like Skyscraper and Flame Wingman. Not that complicated. But let's talk about this game, because I think I made a couple of mistakes, and that they made a mistake that I would like to talk about, because it is something that came up a long time ago that still appears to be kind of a problem and a mistake that people make. So first turn, another reason for these crawlers to exist in this deck is because if I don't have any columns set up, then I can't use these unless I use something like this, but this is kind of also not that great, and you'll see why I messed that up here in a minute. So he's going to summon this, and it's going to attack into my crawler receptor, which is going to allow me to bring out a crawler spine. Now, the way that I am understanding this, and in the comments, I want you to tell me if I'm understanding this correctly or if there's some other reason why this is working the way that it is. I'm about to play this guy in this slot, and the reason I think it lets me do this is because his ability says if 2 or more cards are in the same column, you can special summon this card from your hand into that column. Which there is 3 cards in this column. Even if he didn't have this monster here, I'm pretty sure it would still let me do it because there's still 2 cards in that column. Or if I were to set this legacy memory here, I could also special summon it in this column. I think that's how it works. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But I draw a card, and then I special summon that card, and then I set this I set the spine face down, and then I play this. Now, I messed this up because in the little pop-up menu, I forgot that it tells me what cards are in my hand versus which cards are in my deck. And so I accidentally select this guy from my hand, which kind of screws me over and kind of doesn't. It allows me to test a thing, because a lingering effect from this card is that at the end of the turn, the card goes back to the hand. So this guy would be, it would be a complete waste to spend this card, on this red moon from my hand, because it would just wind up right back in my hand. And so what I ended up doing, after this resolves and he revives his thing with Call of the Haunted, is I set that guy, and then I realized, oh, I messed up. And so I activate this guy's effect to banish him, to kind of prevent that lingering effect from going into effect. And then I end my turn and I let him go. And then what he's going to do is he's going to play this thing, which is going to drop this guy, this card's attack points by 2,000. I'm going to activate Threatening Roar. And then this is where that mistake that new players make comes in, because I think that most new players assume that when you destroy a trap card, you're also negating the effect. But that only works, if I remember correctly, if it's like a continuous trap card that requires it to be on the field for its effect to be resolved. In this case, this effect is constantly or continuously resolving, keeping this monster on the field. Whereas if you destroyed this card, this guy would also go to the graveyard. But he's going to try to destroy my Threatening Roar with his Dust Tornado, but it's already resolved. He can't attack this turn until such time, or unless he negates it, which he does not. So that doesn't do anything. And so he goes into defense mode and lets me go to my turn. And then I was going to try something out. In my standby phase, or main phase, yeah, until the standby phase of your next turn, this guy comes back, and I put him here, and I do that for a reason. And that's because I think I'm going to set a trap card here, which gives me 2 in this column, meaning that I can special summon my yellow star. I didn't special summon this guy because he would be like a defensive position monster. But what I'm also going to try to do is try to get around this effect, because it doesn't ever say when it ends, which means that it probably won't. And so what I'm going to try to do is use this guy's effect to banish himself for a turn to hopefully come back with all 2,500 of his attack points. I don't ever get to see if this would work. But because he ends up surrendering here. So I flip my spine, kill that monster, and then I attack his 500 attack point thing, and then attack him directly for a bunch of stuff, getting him down to 3,000, and then he just surrenders here. Because I don't think he sees a way out of this. But yeah, so that was the first duel with this deck, and it went pretty well. But granted, I'm still like, at this point, I was rookie level 2, and in this next game, I'm rookie level 1. And so let's take a look at how I approached this one, which was very similar in strategy, but I had to think my way out of a couple of problems here. So, starting hand, I have Spine, Axon, Blue Sky, and Sunset. I am going first again, which means I can't let him set himself up to allow me to cast these into play. So what I'm instead going to do is I'm going to start with this World Legacy Survivor. And what I should have done is just set this card and used it as a column. I probably, if I were to do this again, I would probably set this card right here in this middle zone. And I would do that because most people that are new will generally play cards in the middle. So if I set this here, he plays basically anything in one of these 2 slots. And then I can summon any of these guys after that, and then probably put Spine off to the side. So I play this, and then it allows me to grab one of my World Legacy cards, which is the World Legacy Secret, which allows me to revive one of my guys. And then I placed the Spine. But yeah, I probably, if I were to do this again, I probably would have played this over here or over here. Not right here, because I've barely ever seen anybody use this section unless they actually filled up these 2 zones first. I think it's because we have a tendency to play to the right. But anyways, so he goes to his turn, he summons this, and then he's going to attack into this. And I get to resurrect this guy with this World Legacy Secret. And then I'm pretty sure, yeah, this guy allowed me once per turn, if an opponent's card is destroyed in this card's column by battle or leaves the field, you can special summon 1 Mech Knight from your hand. So because this guy was in the same column as this Axe Dragonute, I was able to special summon this guy in defense mode as well. And then he ends his turn because he can't do anything about it. And I don't really have a good option here to special summon my Blue Sky. So this guy has already kind of done his work. So I'm going to tribute him for Blue Sky so that I can then link summon this 3-link thing. So this guy has a pretty cool effect. This, as long as there's nothing in these 2 columns, even if he has a monster in all 4 of the other columns, I can attack him directly. Kind of like if this was like a Toon monster. In addition, I paid very close attention to these 3 zones. And this is the first time that I've had to use these 2 zones, because in solo, you could put Link monsters and Xyz summons basically wherever you want. If it comes from the extra deck, you can put it wherever you want. So this is the first time I've had to use these extra monster zones. I didn't even know what they were for until this game. Anyways, so if the card in the extra monster zone points to no monsters, which I believe means, since it's got 3 little arrows down here, it means this zone, and this zone. As long as it points to no monsters, it cannot be destroyed by card effects. Also, your opponent cannot target it with card effects. And then you can send one other card you control in this card's column to the graveyard to special summon one Mech Knight monster from your deck in defense position. You can only use this effect of Mech Knight Spectrum Supreme once per turn. So what I'm going to do is use that effect to tribute this guy, or this little trap card, to special summon this card. And then he's going to take his turn, end his turn, and then it's going to be my turn. And then I played this. And I made a mistake because I played it during his turn, which meant that this guy had like 3,200 attack and 3,800 defense for like 2 seconds. But I was very confused about why this card does what it's about to do. So I set another card face down. Again, setting up my board for the potential for having to use more Mech Knights. I'm not playing a monster where I have either these 3 zones that I need to keep empty for this guy's effect to continue, where he can't be targeted, which will come into play here in just a second. In addition, I placed my trap card here so that in the event that he placed something over here, I could still use this zone if I needed to for a Mech Knight. But anyways, so I attack into his Luster Dragon and destroy it, and then I deal some direct damage. And then I turn the turn over to him. He makes a draw, and then I was very confused about what happened next, but I think I understand what's going on. So this card reads: negate any opponent's spell effect that activates in the same column as a Mech Knight monster you control. So he should have played this next spell card over here or over here, but not where he did, which is right here. So I think what he was trying to do is bounce this card, this Mech Knight Spectrum Supreme, back to my extra deck. And I think that he was trying to do that, and then, because it takes him a second, when I was actually in this game, it took him a second to kind of make his decision, because I think he was trying to figure out why he couldn't like click on this guy, because I don't think it would let him, because he can't be targeted because these 3 zones are empty. But anyways, so, and then Legacy of, I think he originally selected this card. Or second, after he originally tried to select this card, but it wouldn't let him. He tried to select this card, but then this nullified it and negated it. And I think that it did that because it was in the same column as this Mech Knight. I think that's what it says it does. But anyways, so that doesn't work for him, so he just surrenders. He didn't really see a way out of that. And those were my first 2 duels. So let me know if let me know how I did. Let me know what you thought. I got a Dark Magician figurine thing from the store. That was pretty cool, because you get an awful lot of these gems from doing solo content. If you need gems to buy packs, do your solo content. I have barely touched it. I've touched like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bits of it, and then there's still like another 20 to do. So there's a lot of gems worth out of that solo area. And I used some of those to get my gold pass, which just started over. Well, last time I looked at it, there was like 2 hours left, and I was like, I think I'm gonna wait for that timer to tick over. Otherwise, this is kind of gonna be a waste of like 750 gems. So anyways, let me know what you thought. Let me know if you'd like to see more content from this game, because I am starting to have some fun understanding what's going on in the world of Yu-Gi-Oh! After like 12 years of not touching this game. So be sure to like, sub, comment, tell me what I got wrong, because I'm sure I analyzed these duels somewhat incorrectly. And let me know where I can improve. Specific cards not really going to be much help, because like I don't really have a whole lot of crafting materials right now. So like I can get some stuff, but I can't get a lot of stuff. Like I'm sure that if I were to look in here, I could probably get another Mech Knight thing if I were to spend some ultra rare resources, but I don't really know what's kind of worth it yet. So I'll look more into these Mech Knights and see what I can come up with. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.